everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm here in Cuba. Now at this point, you guys have probably seen plenty of videos from Havana, Varadero, and even Matanzas. In this video, I'm going to take you to a place that's a little bit different, that's on the other side of Cuba. Cuba's second city, Santiago de Cuba. So a friend of mine fully briefed me on his experience here in Santiago de Cuba. He actually has a YouTube channel. I'm going to put his YouTube channel down below. I might put it somewhere right here. I want you guys to go to his channel if you like his stuff. Subscribe to it. He told me a couple things about Santiago. He told me that it's cheaper, the nightlife is boring, and also the women are more beautiful. So I'm excited to see the place. So the vibe in this city is definitely in the public spaces. Here I am, having a caipirinha. I'll give you guys a look. I actually only paid maybe about 75 cents for this caipirinha. And there's music playing, people are having a good time. There's homeless people, or maybe not homeless, but poor people milling about, asking for money. Yeah, this is Latin America, all right. No, here, they have very strict rules around tourists and locals and their interaction. My Airbnb host, I guess a hostel, so I guess it's a privately owned hotel. They told me very explicitly when I was leaving, no chicas in the early morning. In Havana, it was definitely a different situation.
Due to rapid inflation and the always present government restaurant option, taking a young lady out on a date costs no money. With $10 in a dream, you can wine and dine a shorty.
Despite this place being communist, it's really capitalism that makes this place run. Literally, in every little nook and cranny here, people are having their own little enterprises. I mean, you see a lot of people selling ice cream, you see a lot of people with little makeshift restaurants selling pizza. Here in Santiago de Cuba, capitalism is alive and well. You know, the Spanish were actually very intentional about building their major cities on a natural body of water. Here we have a bay that leads into the Caribbean Sea. With Havana, you have a bay that leads into the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. In Puerto Rico, you see a similar dynamic, and also in Santo Domingo, same exact thing. The Spanish were very deliberate in terms of how they built their cities here in the Caribbean.
In the styles of architecture of the old buildings, you can still feel that Spanish Southern European influence.
Despite Cuba's obvious financial issues, this church right here is in immaculate shape. I mean, it looks beautiful. You know, Fidel Castro is actually from this side of Cuba, from the countryside, if you will, of this city, just like how my dad is from the countryside of Kingston, and my mom is just from the country, but Fidel Castro is actually from this side of Cuba, and you see that there's a lot of love, a lot of relics from his time here.
No quiero nada, no quiero nada, oye, que la botella me llama. Te extraño, estoy solo, sin ti yo no quiero nada. Mi consuelo se me escapa, en el fondo de otra copa mi negra. Ay. Te extraño, estoy solo, sin ti yo no quiero nada. Me dicen que soy vago, y eso lo hago.
Ready for the culture? Ahí nada más.
Gracias. Gracias, amigo.
the background, you may have seen some people, and you may have noticed that this city is a lot darker than, say, Havana, the western side of Cuba. And the reason for that is that the majority of people here are descendant from the migrant workers that were invited to this side of Cuba, as well as the slaves and Haitians that were invited here a long time ago. Guys, whatever you do, I want you to avoid Cuban pizza like the plague. That, my friends, is how you catch diarrhea real quick. So as you guys know, or may already know, here in Cuba, you are very susceptible to diarrhea when you eat food. I'm 100% prepared because I have my Pepto-Bismol tablets. Let's go.
Tu amiguita dice que yo soy pesado. Dice que soy malo, que no valgo ni un centavo. Pero cuando tú te vas, ella viene por atrás y susurra.
Alright, this is my first bit of food here in Santiago. Now my boy that I told you about earlier, he actually told me that the food here is terrible. Let's see how it goes. Let's get in soft, alright? Pause. Let's move in soft. We're gonna try the rice first. Can't go wrong with rice, right? Okay. Good flavor on the rice, actually. Okay, let's try the questionable looking fish.
And this is why the unofficial sponsor of this video is Pepto-Bismol. It's terrible.
Alright boys, it looks like we're going vegetarian here in Santiago de Cuba. I don't know, it tastes like the fish was swimming in vinegar for a couple hours before they actually cooked it. It's very important to, wash your fish, wash your meat, at least in Jamaican culture, which I'm from, and we wash our meat and then we go ahead and we make it. However, this tastes like it was swimming in vinegar for 3 hours, and then they just decided to throw it on a grill Jesus Christ.
It also smells like it wasn't processed correctly. Super fishy.
Alright, so since the fish sucks, I guess we're gonna drink some more. The waitress is flirting with me hard body, but we're not going to bite. I'm drunk, but I'm not stupid. I'm going to maintain my virginity here in Santiago de Cuba. 2 shots of rum, 2 beers, and a plate of questionable seafood. Big thing of rice, $6. Gotta love Cuba. Can you guys imagine, just off the plane, you go to a restaurant, you eat some terrible fish, not like Jamaican fish, and then the waitress at the restaurant is literally throwing it at you. It's crazy here. All you guys that go to Havana, you guys are missing out. This place is a free-for-all. I'm gonna stay in my foxhole, duck and cover. I ain't giving it up out here. No, sir. Now, although I hated that fish, I'm sure that the stray dogs and the dog at my hotel would love it. So I'm making sure that I'm carrying it back for them. Here in Santiago, there isn't much divide between rich and poor. There is no rich, really. Not that I've seen. I'm sure they exist, but haven't seen it. This reminds me of a lot of matanzas. You're a big tuna going out there, sir.
Remember, a good portion of the population is descendant from Jamaicans, Haitians, and folks from other islands. Actually, just to go a little bit further, you hear more reggae on the streets here of Santiago than you'll hear in Kingston. In Kingston, Montego Bay, Mandeville, Ocho Rios, you hear more dancehall.
You guys know that I always find the hoods whenever I go someplace, all right? We in the hood, stray dogs, grandmas, it's lit out here.
If you look close enough, it actually looks like she just gave birth. So for that reason, she's a little bit aggressive, a little bit skittish at the same time. Because she needs calories to produce milk for her babies, she will not let Buddy in.
Yep.
Forget those old American cars. This is the primary means of transportation around here.
The architecture here kind of reminds you a lot of old San Juan. The Spanish are very predictable in terms of how they did things.
And on Alameda from Waterfront to Plaza Marte, you'll find majority of the businesses here.
You know, one of my favorite pastimes here in Cuba is to blend in, try to look like a local, you know, before I start talking and people find out I'm a foreigner, but I enjoy that. Just getting a sense of how local people live, how they do things, how they interact with each other. And then once they find out I'm a foreigner, they start looking at me and then it gets awkward. Occasionally in Havana you'll see it, but here you see lines, right? Lines for pretty much basic products. I don't know if it's meat, I don't know if it's tampons or some other household item that's very necessary, but here I notice a lot of lines popping up damn near everywhere. I think y'all lit with y'all racing scooters. Nah, these kids are a little bit cooler. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this Santiago piece. I'll see you in the next one, and the next one. Peace out.
Wow, she's so crazy. She's so wild, she's so crazy. Tu amiguita dice que yo soy pesado. Dice que soy malo, que no valgo ni un centavo. Pero cuando tú te vas, ella viene por atrás y susurra.